What screams pretending to be upper class? I work at an exotic car rental branch. I have plenty of customers that rent our cars and ask us to take the ID tags off the keyring. Understandable. Then I have some that insist they get the same license plate each time and will flip out if I give them the same model as usual but with the plate one digit off. Here trying to make the appearance to whoever that they own the car and get themselves in a trap where they have to keep renting to keep up the illusion. That charade never lasts long. Taking out loans to get your family on a little vacation. My friend is doing this. I told him to save up for a trip like that. Apparently stuff around the house is stressing both him and his so badly with their kids that they are fighting over taking out $20,000 or $30,000 to go on a vacation. One vacation. Then it's back to fighting and whatnot. Absurd. Imagine knowingly going into debt to go on one vacation. They both work too, which is even more baffling. Struggling to scrape together the minimum payments on a luxury car. Saw some guys at a stoplight in a convertible 6 Series BMW with the top down blasting music and wearing expensive clothes. I can see his dashboard. Every possible warning light was on. To be fair, in a bimmer those lights probably came on the day he bought it. Wearing brand clothes that have the huge name of the brand on them. I used to work in one of the brand stores and these were literally made for the lower class that wants to show off. More expensive and higher quality items never had this flexing on them. Rich people on Instagram are probably mostly fake rich, buying followers. If I were a billionaire, I would not want to be tagged partying on a yacht, especially not in 2020. Talking about possessions. Slipping dollar amounts into conversations. Act like you've been there before. Knew a guy that once worked as a waiter at the restaurant at a high-end country club. He said it was pretty obvious who was new money and who was old money. New money people always made a point of getting the most expensive dinner on the menu and the fanciest wine and so on, because they had imposter syndrome from hell and felt like they had to act the part in order to prove that they deserved to be there. Old money would order a cheeseburger and a Coke because that's what they were in the mood for. $5,000 purse with no money in it. Talking down to working class people. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely snooty asshole upper class people, however in my interactions with them as a working class person in services they've always been extremely nice. My guess is because we both know who we are in society, so there are no pretensions. Fake upper class people had to completely reinforce the class divide. It had to be absolutely clear that they are and always have been above you. Part of me thinks it's resentment at what they might have used to have been, and the other part thinks it's how they think other upper class people behave. We don't get anything that scream pretending to be upper class in Australia at the moment. Thanks to our mining sector at the height of the boom. Someone could leave high school, get some tickets, and pretty much walk into a 6-figure job on the mines. So the young man driving around in an expensive muscle car while covered in tattoos, slabs of beer in the back, may not be pretending, but could be a cub, cashed up bogan. 20 dudes who pulled their money to pay for one bottle service table at a Vegas club. Source was one of those dudes. Putting entrepreneur on any social media platform BO. McMansions without curtains or furniture in the upstairs. I used to be concerned about how I looked / dressed when going to a high-end retailer. Now I simply don't care. If they won't serve me when wearing jeans, then I'll just go somewhere else. We took the wheels off our double wide and bought plastic paneling that looks like bricks. That is just sensible curb appeal. Talking about how expensive everything you have is and how much money you have. I found the truly wealthy people don't feel compelled to talk about it constantly. Throwing parties every week and calling everyone old sport. All for that girl that lives right across from you. When people act all rich, but they've never even staged a South American coup for better tax rates on their fruit plantations. Getting married in a big fat wedding by taking out loans. Borrowing from friends. Plus, getting super expensive rings when you can't afford 1/10 of it. When you get invited for supper and bring a bottle of wine, but feel obligated to mention it cost $35. Constantly altering your pink channel suit to fit in at a country club. Jeff Lowe. Definitely buying cars you can't afford. I'm solidly middle class and drive a Ford Focus. Don't buy one. They're shit. And a lot of people I work with that make less than I do roll in driving big expensive trucks or Mercedes cars. If I can't afford that, I know they can't. I heard salespeople at high-end shops can tell immediately if someone was actually wealthy in places like Rodeo Drive. Even if you dress up nicely and walk into a high-end store, they could pick you off as a normie. Moving to LA despite not being able to afford living there. They should try acting. I hear that's a racket. Posting pictures of your fancy cars and house renovations, shoes, etc. on social media. Real rich people don't actually have to scream I'm rich to be rich. They sell accessories that you can clip to cheaper iPhones to make it look like you have the 3 cameras. Simply talking about money and how much things cost as way to brag and show others your wealth. I grew up fairly close to my cousin. He's 6 months older than me and his family, and they are what I consider to be truly wealthy. My uncle was a very well respected dentist who built his practice up from nothing over a 30-year period. He retired in the last 5 years. My uncle grew up in a dirt poor farming family and never flaunted his wealth. When he became wealthy, he didn't buy a new sports car every year. He still drives the same sports car he bought 15 years ago. He didn't wear flashy designer clothes. He still wears expensive clothes though, and you'd never know he was a millionaire if you passed him in the street. He owns properties all over the province for hunting and net worth reasons. Owns a mansion in the Bahamas on the beach and takes trips to Europe yearly. You wouldn't know any of those things unless you knew him on a personal level. On the other side of my family I have an uncle that would be considered upper middle class. He always had to have the fanciest toys, the newest models, etc. and everything with slashes a competition to him. My parents bought a new Cadillac before they retire, and of course he had to purchase one as well, except it had to be better. So he bought a CTSV within a month of my parents, so he could be better than my parents. He also has to brag about his traveling, telling us of the fun he had in Vegas last week, the exciting trip to Mexico he's taking next and so on. In my experience there's 2 types of wealthy. There is the truly wealthy class who are humble people that make smart decisions with their money and don't treat it like a competition. And there is the folks wealthy class who have to try and flaunt their wealth in the face of others as a way of keeping score and ensuring that they are perceived as winning. When I sold cars for 5 years, the people with the worst credit/income/finances were always trying to stretch to buy the most expensive and newest car. They were the easiest to impress with new features, special colors and performance specifications. The people with the best finances were always looking for a basic Corolla or Camry. They were usually replacing a 15-year-old Toyota they handed down or sold online. After having that experience, whenever I hear someone say they special ordered a special color or that there's only X amount of this car made, I just think to myself that they are a sucker and probably have bad credit. And when I see someone driving an old beat up car, I don't automatically think they are broke, but instead I think they are probably hoarding cash and have a nice retirement ahead of them. Buying an inflatable hot tub while living in a trailer park. Souse just bought an inflatable hot tub and live in a trailer park. Hey, thanks for watching, and please if you enjoyed the video don't forget to like and subscribe.